Hey everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. Sorry for the short delay. Those that have been watching my streams lately, you'll know there's a bit of a short delay at the beginning. It's just that I have to check that we are actually streaming, and I'm not sitting here talking to myself, which I do quite often. However, this time round, I definitely won't be talking to myself because I'm having a Let's Talk 2 session, and we've got a pretty special guest with us today, all the way from the Netherlands, and I'm convinced it's Max Verstappen. He'll probably tell us different, but it's Aaron, otherwise known as Stormfly. Stormfly, welcome.
Welcome, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Now, let's just get this cleared up first of all. Are you actually Max Verstappen?
No, I'm not.
I knew you'd say that. Even if you were, you'd say that, wouldn't you? You drive just as quick. But so yeah, everybody would have seen him. And I'm going to press the button. How many times do I do this? I'm going to press the button so we can actually see you going around the track. This is a race that we did at Fuji, or you did at Fuji, so everybody can watch you going around. Everybody knows you now. You've been with us quite a while, actually, haven't you? You've been with the URL.
Well, yeah, I think I want to say about a year now, almost.
Yeah, about a year, and you've shot your way through the ranks, and you're up there now as one of the top drivers. Where did the name Stormfly come from?
Yeah, that's actually from my kids. When they were young, they were watching How to Train Your Dragon, I think, basically on all-time replay. And one of the dragons was called Stormfly. The R46 is, of course, Valentino Rossi and the famous 46. He's sort of my hero for a long time.
That's fantastic. Sorry, Karen.
No, that's it, actually.
I was going to say, that's fantastic.
So I thought it sounds cool, so not everybody immediately recognizes that Stormfly is from the cartoon. And then I thought, hey, together with the R46, it's a good name to race with.
I think it's great when the kids come up with the names for you. It saves you a job, but they seem to be more creative than the adults do. So brilliant stuff. I have got a few questions, but if we don't ask questions and we go drifting off and talk about other things, then that's fine. It is just a chat. But I'm going to ask you, how long have you been sim racing? And I mean, the way you drive, it's almost like you've been behind the wheel before. So I was going to ask as well, have you done any real racing?
Yeah, a bit. So I actually started more in real life than before sim racing. So I got my club level race license here in the Netherlands at Zandvoort racetrack back in 2007, I think.
Right.
And then I did a couple of years of time attack championships. I moved to Hungary from Holland. I'm originally Hungarian, and I moved back to Holland or to Hungary for work in 2010. And then for 3 seasons, I did the Hungarian time attack championships, which is kind of like a super pole event. So you're not literally racing the other cars, you're racing their own lap times, basically. And eventually, I was in the pro class. I was runner-up in 2013. Then I moved to Canada in 2014 for 5 years. So there I did my North American club license as well, and then a little bit the same, some club level time attack racing and
wow.
Track days. Sim racing, I think I got my first proper setup. I want to say 2009 or so. Then I really had like a rig and a proper frame, with the wheel and so on. And initially I was really iRacing, so I think 10 years of iRacing, Assetto Corsa a bit, and then I was always Gran Turismo, but in the beginning, of course, with the controller, but once you shift to a wheel, there is no way back. So
this might sound like a really daft question, but is there a massive difference between sim racing and real racing? I know obviously you're in a real car, etc., before all the idiots start writing in what a dumb question, but what I'm saying is the feel that you get, I mean, we've all got these force feedback wheels and things like that now. Do you get the same kind of feeling?
I think the evolution of the setups, I think it's a great question. So I'm lucky or fortunate that I've done a couple of racetracks that are also in games. And I was able to actually even choose the same car that I was driving and so on. So I had a couple of laps, maybe a couple of thousand laps around Hungaroring in Hungary, which I did with my 1M Coupe BMW. That's I think everybody knows it was a bit of a one series M car, came out in 2011, and then that's the car that I modified a bit and used for Time Attack Championship. When I say modified a bit, completely ruined it for road use, but
Oh no, great.
was great fun for the track. And then of course in the Assetto Corsa you do have a Hungaroring. I think it's a mod, but now it's maybe in it normal. So I've done the laps. It's remarkably close in terms of lap time, so they are simulating that quite well, or maybe that's just a skill issue, that's how far I can go. And I think what really changed the game for me is when direct drive wheels became accessible, I would say. That really adds the strength of force and much better feedback. And yeah, you're never quite ready with your racing rig, but I have added some actuators and bass shakers and to feel the rumble strip and get some ABS effects, and it took a while to set up also to work with the GT7 and PlayStation in general. But I have a setup, it works, and it is quite real. Obviously you're never going to get the G4 seats, you're never going to get the elevation shift and so on. So this sensation of the physical, let's say, stress, that's not there, but the rest, I think it's not far. So I did the Hungaroring lap. I think I'm within a couple of tenths from my real life lap.
Yeah.
A little bit faster in the game, but that comes from you cannot actually die.
Yeah, I suppose you can take a few more liberties in the game, can't you?
And then the same thing in around the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, which is my all-time favorite track that I used in real life. It's a fantastic little thing that's used for North American Racing Series. And there I did a couple of things. So I did laps in Cayman GT4 that I used to use for Time Attack there, and then also in my GT3. So yeah, it is pretty close. It's getting there, and I think the graphics nowadays, especially on the higher end PC setup, but even on PlayStation 5, it's fantastic. You can definitely transfer the things. What I've noticed in the beginning is that I'm actually slower in the game because I behave more like I'm in a real car, and people who start with sim racing and haven't really done real, let's say, track work, you are a bit braver and you do things that the car maybe doesn't do in real life. But the tire models and everything are getting there. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the big difference with the sim is you are a little bit braver, right? you know that nothing really is going to happen in a sim car.
Yeah, but I noticed it on myself that I drive more like a real car, and that also makes me, I think, a good sport on the track, and I'm polite. And of course, sometimes you have a bit of a bashing in with someone, but most of the time I really like if it's a real car. That doesn't always make it ultimately the fastest, but I try to emulate as much as possible. Real world.
While we're on, obviously we're on the subject of cars and racing and things like that. We were talking off air just before we came on, and you mentioned that you've had sort of one or two cars in the past.
One or two, yeah. Nah, look, I was fortunate. I had a fantastic career very early on in my life before I had to grow up and have kids and that kind of stuff. So from very early age, I was fortunate to be able to have.
So what? Come
cars
on.
That people dream about. So maybe I had 20 cars, I think, over the years. But just to highlight, so E30 M3 1988, the first M3, the one M2, I actually had two of them because the first I ruined, and then I bought another one because I actually wanted to use it.
Because you could.
Yeah, also that's true. I think 4 or 5 Porsches, 997, then the Cayman GT4, and 911 Turbo, 911 GT3.
I like the way you said that, 4 or 5 Porsches. It's I can't quite remember it. It's what.
Yeah, I don't count. My wife used to have a Macan GTS, but I don't count that. So proper Porsches, I had 4. That's, I think, the most that's worth mentioning. And I was lucky enough to drive quite a lot of cars. I was in the community with a few cool friends and the racing community, and we gave each other some laps. So I drove a couple of Ferraris, a couple of McLarens. I was in Fiorano to do a 2-day Pilota Corsi training with Ferrari and a 458 Speciale.
Wow.
Better days of your life, I think.
Wow.
But then you get kids and you need to buy a house, and your wife gets a bit nervous. So
So what is it now then? A Nissan Juke or something? A little
No, it's
minivan?
not. It's worse than you can imagine. No, it's I have two elect. We have two electric cars in Holland due for tax reasons. It's better to drive electric. So both my wife and I turned electric a while ago, and
Oh
mildly
dear.
depressed. But the time will come when I buy one more silly car.
Really? You're not finished yet then?
No, I don't think so. I hope I get there. I'm getting there. I'm getting into an age, but not quite there yet.
I won't go into how old you are. I think I'm the oldest person in this league. I think so.
That could be. I'm 45. It's not a secret, but
Oh well, you've got a long way to go to catch me
I
up
have
then.
some time. Yes.
You've got a long way to go to catch me. You've not quite hit your midlife crisis yet then. Well, it sounds like you've already had it.
Yeah. The nice thing is that I ticked off everything before I was 40. So I had 15 good years between, let's say, 25 and 40, and I did everything.
Yeah.
I've more got maybe one thing. I had a Caterham Super 7. That's actually a funny story. I
Oh
took my
right.
wife around.
You got a sweet
I met
talker for
her.
that.
No, I had it before I had her, and
Oh, I
then
see. All
we were
right.
we started dating, and I took her out, and I think when we became serious, we said, okay, but this is gonna
Well,
sell right now.
well, there's a list there that some of us could only dream of. Um, so I mean, we could talk cars all day, and I haven't got a problem talking cars all day. I mean, I was going to ask if you got any other hobbies besides sim racing, but it sounds like cars are the hobby.
Yeah, cars, yes. I mean, I'd like to. I have a stupid large scooter, but I'm not allowed to have motorbikes. When I say I'm not allowed, I don't want to kill myself on a motorbike, but I quite
No.
like it. Now, in terms of hobbies, yeah, I mean, I played sports-wise. I played tennis since I'm a kid, so maybe 30 plus years now. I still like doing that. When the time comes, I like scuba diving. Then for the rest around the house, I'm
Yeah.
into tinkering with stuff. I'm
You,
not saying I can build anything, but I certainly try.
do you know what? It sounds like you've got a pretty exciting life actually, with all these cars and these hobbies. I'm surprised you have time to actually race with on GT7 with all this going.
Honestly, the nice thing is that I had that was the life change. To be honest, I had an enormously busy life. I traveled maybe 100 days a year, and I was not home, and international travel with work and so on. And at one point, there was a decision that had to be made. You know, like, do I spend time actually seeing my kids grow up and maybe not get them to work, or I keep building on unnecessarily on the career. So I chilled out and chose an easier job. I'm still doing
Yeah.
fine, of course, but I'm home every day. I finish at 5. I come home. I cook dinner. I spend time with my kids. We'll hang out, and then I have time to race. Good.
It's I think for a lot of people as well, the racing is just a distraction from everyday life.
Oh, it's a very nice. The nice thing is that by the time the race starts, it's like 9 p.m. European time or Central European time. Kids are mostly in bed.
Yeah, yeah,
The
and you
wife
can.
is happy to not see me for an hour and a half, so good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why a lot of people do it. It's just a bit of an escape, isn't it? You can have a laugh with some of your mates or online mates, and just enjoy it. Well, what we may have covered it already earlier, but the setup you've got then is that because it's your full title actually is Stormfly VR46. So I'm guessing the VR is your the headset
No,
thing.
no, no. That's Valentino Rossi. I don't use VR. I get
Oh,
sick.
you don't?
No, not at all. I tried. My kids have VR setups for their gaming, let's say, but they play silly games, and I tried a couple of times, and I get motion sickness. Maybe I could get used to it, and I have to say I don't like the quality. I think it's not quite there yet. It's a bit mushy. It's a bit pixelated.
Oh,
I have a
right.
nice 4K screen. Sure, it's 2D. You don't get the depth. I get all of that. But I
Yeah.
think the experience is not quite there yet. And the biggest problem is I actually just get sick. So no,
Well,
VR stands for Valentino Rossi. He's absolutely my hero. I was lucky
ah,
enough to see him race and follow his career from the beginning. And I think he's the
well, there you
greatest
go.
motorsports person.
That's the whole idea of these little chats. It's to find out a little bit more about you. I would have put money on it being VR is the VR racing. But
Yeah,
there you
no.
go. I've never tried it myself either. I've heard a lot of people say it takes some getting used to, and as you mentioned, the motion sickness. It's just at the minute it doesn't appeal to me, but I know a lot of people. Go with it. I'm going to ask you. We've got a big update coming, or promised a big update for
Yeah.
GT7 towards the end of the year. Is there, if you could sort of put something in there, what's your wish list for the big update? Or another question: is there anything that you'd like to see in URL that, or see change? Would you like to change anything in URL?
Let's start here. So I think URL for me has been absolutely fantastic experience so far. I think it's a fantastic group of guys. There's a lot of effort going into organizing the event. It's done professionally. There's always something to do. Even on off nights, guys are opening lobbies. There's a good laugh. So we tried, do our own little team with Black Flag Racing, which we had a couple of good seasons, and I think we had a couple of there as well. But we sort of, some of us migrated over to URL, and that's how I got also invited. I have nothing but amazing things to say about the group and the racing, the sportsmanship. It's really been good fun. So that's I wouldn't change much about that for sure.
Good.
I like the variety. To be honest, I also think you can always moan about stuff, but everybody's on the same track with the same conditions. So if you don't like it, then you don't race. If you like it, then you need to just adjust to what the challenge is ahead of you. So no, I don't see anything with that. With regards to Gran Turismo, I've been, of course, on Gran Turismo 1 throughout the whole time, from PS1 to now, let's say. I always think that the spec updates, they usually respect 2 updates or whatever. They are always great. Something new is coming, you get maybe a couple of trucks, newer cars, and so on. There are, of course, things that I'd like to see in Gran Turismo, which I think everyone would like to see. The lobbies could go to 20 people. I think that would be nice. If I can play against 20 cars in the game, against missions, or just against the AI of the game. Why should I not be allowed to do that in an online lobby? I think for people such as yourself who do amazing comms, it would be fantastic to get a commentator seat and have a bit of a feature set for that. Maybe some overlays, best up times. A couple of things. When you watch the GT World Series, like the live racing, from Nations Cup or whatever, there are visuals there, and I'm sure, of course, that's done with the third-party software and so on, but somewhere inside the game there is data for that. And I know that also because for my Rumble motors and so on, you can extract telemetry from behind the scenes, let's say, connect that to a PC, and it can shoot that information back into creating rumble effects and so on in your sim racing. And I even think you could probably do motion sim. I don't have that, but you could probably even get that done. So the data is there. The feature should be there, I think.
I agree with you. Sorry to interrupt, but I agree with you 100%. If we could make the replays better, or at least the information that we can put on screen easier. We can put overlays and we can put things like that on there, but that's post-editing.
But it's all post-editing, that's what I mean, but there are no graphics.
But it does take a long while. It takes, and uploading it can be a bit of a pain. I would love to see the ability to put it in there, sort of doing as a live stream. Do you know what I mean? So
you're looking at the screen now, for example. They don't, if you do a replay, they don't show the delta between the two cars, which during the race, of course, if you're live streaming, you see the seconds difference. That's just
exactly. I was just about to say that that very thing, and I think I've said this many times on my replays. I wish we could see the difference in time, the delta. We can find out what's happening, but we can only keep our fingers crossed.
You would think that after 4, 5, 6 years of a game being out, they would figure these things out, and especially if you look at some other titles like F1 24, 25 now, they do have overlays, they do have nice graphics. It does look like real live TV, so I think that would work. And then, of course, the seats. If you now come into a full lobby and you want a commentator to live stream it, you're doing it from replays, which I think is fantastic, of course.
Yes.
More prep time and so on. But often you might want to do that live while the race is going, but you're taking the seat away. So there really should be a commentator's
Yes.
seat, let's say. And then you could get your own menu. There you could choose what to do. So from a software perspective, it seems very doable. I'm not sure if that's any focus or not, but I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
and then of course newer cars. So the last thing is that, especially we are, and I know not everybody's racing GT4 cars, but for the online racing community, I do think that the majority of leagues are using race cars.
Yeah.
Some of them are 10 years old now, so it would be nice to see the new generation of cars in there.
Yeah, I think we've been promised one, haven't we? Is it the Ferrari or something?
Yeah, I saw that, which is great because Max was using that now on the weekend for his debut in GT3 racing, so I would want to try it out.
Yeah. But I mean, there's there's so many others. The Bentleys out there, isn't there? There's the new, is it the new Lamborghini? I can't remember now. But there is, there's quite a.
Almost every car that's in the game has one or two generations newer version. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all looking a bit old. As good as we do the liveries amongst ourselves, but it is a bit like that. Well, look, thanks for talking to me. I do want to ask you one more thing, if you don't mind, if you've got, if you can answer it. Have you got any advice on how to get a little bit quicker for somebody like me or somebody in about my, because we can't keep up with you, and I know you've got years of experience behind the wheel, but if you had...
I did a bit of coaching one-on-one in the Black Flag Racing group with some of the guys that were up and coming and learning how to be faster.
Right.
One of the things that I always say, not like Yoda talk or anything, but in the end, there is a little bit of a similarity between playing an instrument and racing the car. Because if you really think of racing is sport. You have to do exactly the same thing, lap over lap, at the exact same moment to be on your braking point, on your turning point, on your apex, and so on. So there needs to be consistency. That's first. What I see with a lot of guys that are a bit slower or still learning to get faster is they are not using the track nearly. It's easy to say outside in, outside, to grab the best line. But very often people leave a lot of space let's say, on the track. And leaving space is time, it's speed, it's momentum, that's it. I think the exit of a corner, especially if you're coming onto a straight, is far more important than the entry. A lot of people are extremely trying to be daredevil on the braking and push the braking beyond the braking point and brake too late, and therefore come to a corner either too fast or simply miss the turning point, and you're compromising your whole, let's say, straight coming after. So I would say consistency, timing, using the track and focusing much more on your exit than on your corner entries is where I would start. And like it or not, like with everything, it's practice. I don't practice anymore because it's the same tracks for 20 years in Gran Turismo, so you don't really need to surprise yourself. But sometimes when it's a big race or it's an event, there is no other way to do it than to come out and at least get an eye in.
Hopefully Sunday we'll get some different tracks and you'll be back on practicing again then.
I'm gonna be honest, I was lucky or not, but because of the way the Sunday series were organized, I had to start from, let's say, League 4, I think.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the guys, but I didn't have to practice that much for the first couple of seasons. Now I am paired up with a couple of guys who are properly quick, and I think some of these guys, if they were just a little bit more consistent throughout the whole race distance, it would be a proper headache. And there are in the
obviously I think you're going to be up there in the top split. I think it'd be a crime if you weren't. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing the commentary on the top split. So I shall be definitely looking forward to that.
Fantastic.
I'm really looking forward to that with yourself and Bailey and Brisbane, and I could, a whole host of people. So I think it's going to be some fantastic racing next season.
I expect I won't have it easy at all. Bailey, I had a couple of races together with He's beaten me, I think, every time. He was a master on the strategy, tire preservation, and so on some of
Yeah.
these longer endurance races. Brisbane, I don't think I raced before, but there are plenty of quick guys that are really within a couple of tenths, and I think it's who has a
Well,
better day and who is more on it
well,
on the given day.
I for one can't wait. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fantastic season. Look, thank you very much for joining me. I'm not going to take up much more of your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So thank you very much for coming on. I think we've all learnt a little bit about yourself. I still think you are Max Verstappen, but I'm sure you, I know you'll keep denying it.
I would say that I'm the Stig's fat cousin, but
But,
that's it.
but Aaron, thank you very much for coming and having a chat with us. I'm sure everybody has found that absolutely fascinating. I'm not sure who we've got coming up next. I know there's a few guys that have put their names forward that we're looking forward to having a chat with. But again, once again, I'm just going to say thank you very much to Stormfly for joining me.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
And take care, everybody, and we'll catch you all